Welcome back, Vagabonds, and welcome, Wanderers. Today is going to be very rare from me, a scripted talk on Dead by Daylight. A good amount of my viewers stemmed from the game, and knowing my past with the game, know how passionate I am about the ASIM genre. I want to talk about the state of Dead by Daylight, and why until something significant changes, I will no longer be making any content about Dead by Daylight. This includes videos and streams going forward. This can be summed up by, the game is not survivor-sided. It is survivor-oriented. It is survivor-controlled. This is wrong and bad for the game health. While we see the largest influx of player numbers we've probably seen before since the arrival of Jason, who has since, as I predicted, drifted off into the aether of mid, the game itself is treading an incredibly thin line that behavior continues to whittle down. In an ASIM game, the power role, in this case killer, needs to be stronger than the opposing team. This case, the survivor. This, however, is not the case, and survivors not only are favored, but completely control the entire game. Hook states, generator progress, and map resources are all the biggest reasons of this. I'm going to break them down one by one. The hook, on paper, is supposed to be the killer's best out. There are even 4 of them in one location that cannot be interacted with randomly in the map, the basement. There are a lot of perks that benefit you if you hook, but if you aren't running a build specifically tailored to hooking, you actually get negative value from them. Take Pain Res, for instance, the most popular killer perk right now. You hook a survivor for the first time, and a generator with the most progress loses a large chunk of progress. That's great, until you're just about to get value out of it when a generator pops, just before you hook someone. Now the gen that's lightly touched on gets the reduction, which gives you information on where to go, but you're already losing progress on that objective. There are many reasons why hooking is also bad. Protections off the hook are getting more and more insane, especially with the coming addition of the elusive status effect they're trying to force on everyone to make it more fun for survivors. There's a perk that takes entire hook states so your best looper can play even longer. There's a perk that stalls the hook timer. There are perks that give insane bonuses when you unhook. When you sabo a hook, even the sheer animation lock and time it takes to down a survivor, pick them up, bring them to a strategically sound hook, and hook them, can lose you half a generator or more of progress. Overall, survivors control the hooks more than the killer, objectively. The time it takes to lose a state on a hook, a gen can be completed. Anti-camp sizes were increased, so the killer can't even protect a very valuable hook properly. Survivors control the one sacred game progression objective the killer has. Generator progress is a severe problem, and not for the reason you're going to assume. Besides the fact we're getting a boon, and we still can't control our totems because boons are infinite, that impacts generator repair speed is bad enough. But I'm not talking about generator speed. I'm talking about controlling the entire pacing of the game. Survivors control the pacing of the time-based ASIM, not the killer. You have a limited amount of times you can kick each generator before it becomes meaningless. You already lose time kicking gens at all, which is why Turn Back the Clock is seeing an uptick in use. It's better to not have to stop to damage a generator, though that's after hooking, so value is not set in stone. With gen repair speeds, how they are, the match goes by fast, and survivors can give you no time to traverse the map properly. Even if you try to set up a 3-gen, a survivor team will just ping-pong between generators. You chase a survivor, the gen gets done. You walk to the wrong gen across all 5 generators. The gen you were protecting and thought was safe gets done, pushing you further into a bad position on the map. You kick another generator with high progress to slow it down, another generator gets done. In Evolve, the power roll controls the game flow by being able to run away, eat to recover shield, and at the end of the game can destroy a generator or kill all the survivors outright. In Carnival Hunt, the power roll can infinitely reclose doors while leaving gears in, allowing the survivor roll to reopen them with another noise notification. The game itself is also on a timer. You can't drag out the game and rat the killer out until you win. Eventually, the game ends. And if you didn't escape, you can't call that a personal win. While there are gen regression perks in Dead by Daylight, overall, you don't control the generators. The survivors do. Lastly, and one of the biggest pain points, is map resources. Vaults placed against T-walls, or walls in general, with faster killer access distance enough away that you lose progress in chase if you don't vault, but vaulting animation locks you and is also slow, so there's no strategic net worth, such as Trickster's Delusion, where a survivor can vault, run left when the killer's open doorway is to the right. You lose that progress either way. There is no win. Map design overall, with long chases or walls that you can't as killer mind game mostly because of camera angle. Pallet density as a whole. Recently, I learned that pallet density becomes an issue of bulk in one area. What's stopping survivors from constantly going back to that area? Survivor drops a pallet. You immediately break it. In this instance, there's no flashlight. The time it takes to break the pallet, the survivor gets to another one. And another. And another. Soon enough, you've chased one survivor through 3 gens worth of pallets, and no hook states. You could give up that chase, where the generators were just going fast, and find another survivor, but then they run to the same tiles, and can simply drop pallets no matter the chase potential, to get the same effect. Ranged killers should be able to circumvent this a little, until you realize that the wall height, the angles of most maps, the hitboxes of objects, all stop you from getting those hits. Survivors control even the map. You place yourself in a strong space and weave tiles, even poorly, and you can get too much progress as the survivor. There are only ever exceptions to this. Many will point out that various available perks, killers, or add-ons one may run to circumvent all of these, but you must realize that simply isn't the case. Blight or Nurse may make straight chases easier or circumvent pallets, but they are the stronger options that very quickly require you to see the large skill ceiling it can take to play them. Since after a few wins, you run into survivors who play against them and know how to make them, even them, impossible to play steadily. There are perks for breaking pallets faster. That's using one perk slot that you now have less gen regression for. A perk to turn other hooks into scourge hooks to get easier access if all the other hooks are spread too far, but now you can't fit bamboozle to try to close off strong window placement. You run oppression to try to deal with multiple generators at once, just to have every hook you try to get value on get sabotaged. This isn't saying the survivors just shouldn't play the game, or to make killers get 4Ks easily. But it has very clearly shifted that the killer is no longer the power role. There is far too much struggle to play killer at any level. And while complexity is fine, there is a point where you make the game unenjoyable. You can still get 4Ks in this game, but most of the time for the average player, that's taking advantage of people playing poorly or too altruistic, and using playstyles such as slugging and tunneling that is frowned upon by survivors. It's frowned upon because, like anything else in this game, the best way to circumvent issues and be able to stand a chance in this game, you have to play in a way where you don't care. Ghoul, for example, doesn't care about sprint burst, because he can just leap to you, or in front of you, body block a window, and hit you. You say he's too overpowered for that, but it's how he plays, and the one method he has to get any advantage. that otherwise lands him in the garbage with the other 95% of killers in the game. Nurse doesn't care about short, tight loops with a pallet turning every interaction into a god pallet for you, because she can just leap through the terrain itself. You call her broken for that, when really, you just can't abuse a game mechanic that otherwise lets you stall out the entire game. It's like I said in a prior video. All survivors want is control. Well, they have it. The game isn't survivor-sided. The game is survivor-controlled.